Welcome to Rocky Top, Knoxville, Food City Center. And we've got the 6th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers taking on the 23rd-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Custer alongside my partner, Richard Hendricks. You know, Richard, these two programs have been playing each other since 1913. First time that both programs coming to this game ranked in the top 25. As for Georgia, first time they've been ranked in 14 years. They've won 9 of 10. They're led by a fabulous freshman.
Well, for good reason. This is a very good Georgia team taking on Tennessee, and it's led by the fabulous freshman, Asa Newell. This is a big-time player who has the ability to finish down low with ferocious dunks. His ability to stretch it out from the outside and take it end to end is high level. As he'll continue to play at a high level, he'll lead the Bulldogs.
As for the Volunteers, they just have the SEC leading scorer in Chaz Lanier.
Chaz Lanier can shoot with the best of them. A quick release, and maybe the quickest release in the country. It all starts with his fabulous footwork. He's always on balance, gets squared up to the goal, and when he shoots it very efficiently. He'll look to see if he can continue his hot shooting tonight.
This is the 161st meeting between Tennessee and Georgia. The Volunteers, well, they have won 4 straight against the Georgia Bulldogs. Our official, Terry Oglesby, William Short, Owen Short, and Keith Kimball. And it's the Vols who control the tip there in the home white.
Predict this will be a game more of wheels than of skills. Two physical teams that love to pound it inside and play big-time defensive basketball.
Yeah, Jamon Mashack scores, and it's 2-0 Tennessee.
That's a big start there for Tennessee. Jamon Mashack, known for his defensive ability, but to get some offensive production from him will be huge for the Volunteers.
R.J. Godfrey with the rock, high post. Blue Kane, he's from Knoxville. Here's Newell. The 5 on the shot clock. Lawrence drives the baseline, shot off the side of the backboard. That's a shot clock violation. Good defense by the Vols.
Phenomenal defense by Tennessee. That's how you come out and set the tone. Great physicality all around the court, pressuring in and contesting the shot, finishing with a shot clock violation.
Volunteers in the top 3 of the country. You talk about points per game allowed, 3-point shots allowed. They are stingy. Mashack again in the land of trees, gets tied up. Coach Rick Barnes now in his 10th season as head coach at Tennessee. His 38th season as a head coach. 821 victories is what he has. That's just second behind Calipari among active head coaches.
A phenomenal career Rick Barnes has had. He has a really good team. The scary team is that this team is going to continue to get better. He doesn't think they've reached their potential as of yet, but they're still playing high-level basketball.
And here's Lanier. First shot. Too strong. Rebound Newell. Volunteers were ranked #1 last week. In fact, spent 5 straight weeks as the #1 team in the country. Newell ball fake, drives off the glass, no good. And it'll stay with the Bulldogs and their head coach, Mike White. Well, now in his 3rd season in Athens, 14th season for him as a head coach. And look, he led them to their first 21 seasons since 2016, just last year. They started the season 12-1. Bulldogs' best start in 94 years, what he's done with this program in just the 3rd season.
Mike White has done a great job with this team. He's put the SEC on notice with this roster that he has. They play two-way basketball. They can control the game, and they're very tough.
Here's Ziegler. He controls everything for the Vols. Dumps it inside. Okpara had it, lost it. Tyron Lawrence back the other way. He lost control of that one going up.
These are two teams that are really capable defensive teams. They're connected on the defensive end. You're not going to see easy drives to the basket. Expect to see a lot of contact met with the body at the point of attack and denying on the ball pressure.
Early on, Georgia 0 of 3 from the field. Here's Newell. working on Igor Milicic. Little jump hook with the left hand is good.
That's beautiful touch right there by the freshman. Took his time, got to the sweet top spot, and shot it right over the top.
That one's knocked away.
The ability of the freshman. Great footwork, understands balance, but the extension at 6'11" to shoot right over the top for that beautiful jump hook shows a little peek at the versatility of he has. It's not only an inside game, but he can stretch it out and shoot it beyond the three-point line as well.
Asa Newell, also the SEC Freshman of the Week for the third time. Another steal by the Bulldogs. Second turnover for the Volunteers. Silas Dimry. They work it inside into the post. Newell kicks it right back out. Lawrence drive, had it taken away. It's steal, turnover for Georgia. Milicic, the three is no good. You can see Lawrence saying he got hit in the head.
Took a shot as Lawrence was still on the deck. Tennessee came down and elected to shoot a three-pointer in transition, had numbers on their side. The sideline out of bounds opportunity. This is going to be a game you're going to see a lot of pace on the defensive end as we take a peek at Tyron Lawrence.
His head hit the knee. Tennessee needs a bucket here. They had back-to-back turnovers. Ziegler misses that three, and here comes Blue Kane. Kane is from Knoxville. All-state here in high school, won a state championship right up the street at Knoxville Catholic. Dakota LaFew is in the lineup for the Bulldogs. 8 on the shot clock. To the corner, Kane inside. Newell had it taken away by Akpar. Another turnover. That's the third for Georgia.
Tennessee with their switching defenses causing problems for Georgia early on.
And layup no good, but the offensive board, Lanier, no good. And a push by Milicic.
It's going to be that type of game. It's going to be a grind. You're almost 4 minutes into the ball game, each team with only one field goal, and it's because of the high-level defensive ability of each of these clubs. They have phenomenal players who have the switchability on the perimeter, physical at the point of the attack, and are able to rebound and turn it into offense. It's going to be a game of the little details to get yourself some space to create offense.
Got some substitution. Somto Surreal is checked in for Georgia. And Cade Phillips is checked in for the Volunteers. Here's Silas Dimry, Jr. Manages this squad. Sets the table for him. That's Dakota LaFew. And I'm talking about Jamon Mashack was all in his grill. 15:51. We're all tied up at 2 here in Knoxville. All tied up at 2. Tennessee taking on Georgia. We knew this was going to be a defensive struggle here as you take a look at what the Bulldogs have done. First time in 14 years that Georgia's been ranked 14-2, 2-1 in the SEC. Listen, they opened the season at 12-1. It's their best start in 94 years. In fact, you got to go back to 1930-31. They end up finishing that season 23-2. But, you know, this is what their head coach, Coach Mike White, does. It seems like every program he goes to, that third year, he flips it.
Well, Mike White is a difference maker. And this team is making a difference in the SEC. This is not a team where you look at that record and you see them being 14-2 and think they haven't been challenged. They beat some really good teams in the non-conference. They've started off the SEC on a high note, putting the rest of the league on notice. It's a strong team with 2 good bigs that play connected on the inside, and they defend at a high level.
4th straight ranked opponent Georgia's facing here tonight. They've already knocked off 6th ranked Kentucky, 17th ranked Oklahoma, did that last week. Dakota LeFew gives it off to Silas Demery. Demery drives, cut off, throws it inside. Surreal had it, lost it. Ziegler pushing it.
This is a game where point guard play will be important. You have two veteran guards who are really good at handling the ball on pressure, and the defensive pressure that they put on each other will impact the team defensively.
That three is good. Milicic.
Big shot there by Igor Milicic. They said he hasn't been shooting the ball to his ability this year, but he has the ability to really get on a run.
He's only shooting it at 25% beyond the arc, but as you pointed out, he can shoot it. LeFew lays it up and in. 1 point lead here for the Vols.
Beautiful baseline cut there by Dakota LeFew. Cut with some purpose and freed himself up on the baseline.
Here's Ziegler. Gets the screen from Phillips, turns the corner, a little float game. Got his own board, follow-up no good. And it is Surreal with the board. Best defensive rebounding squad in the SEC is Georgia.
Georgia runs some methodical offense. The ball will usually move from both sides of the court till they find a high-quality shot. The patience that they play with is key.
That three's good from the corner. Silas Demery knocks it down. You're watching SEC Network Basketball. It is presented by Pfizer. Brian Custer, Richard Hendricks here in Knoxville. We've got 6th-ranked Tennessee taking on the 23rd-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. And right now, it is Georgia with a 2-point lead over the Vols. It's their first lead of the game.
This is a game that's been a defensive struggle, as expected. Two high-level teams with great rosters that can switch on the defensive end, rebound well, and contest shots. Offense will not be easy to come by in this one.
Chaz Lanier leading the SEC in scoring right now. Just checks back into the basketball game. Averaging 19. Here's Zakai Ziegler. Turns the corner, lobs it up, throwing it down. There's Cade Phillips.
Wow. Beautiful design action right there. Zakai Ziegler coming off that screen row, and Cade Phillips throwing it down.
Right back at you is Silas Demery for 3. 3-point lead for the Bulldogs.
Pace is starting to change a little bit as teams are finding their rhythm, dialing up some offense and getting high-quality looks.
Darlington Dubois rejected at the rim there by Surreal.
That's what Somto Surreal does. Outstanding at rim protection.
LeFew. No. And a personal call down.
The screen roll action. Beautiful screen set by Cade Phillips, and gets right out of there, and the beautiful pinpointed pass right over the top. Cade Phillips with the throwdown.
Bad shoulder and all.
Phillips, a tough kid, Alabama native. Has a family with ties to the University of Alabama. Father was a quarterback at the University of Alabama, and mother played basketball for the Tide. And here he is doing his thing for the Volunteers.
Athletic family. Here's Lanier. In and out. Got it back. Even though he's leading the SEC in scoring, a couple of teams have put the clamp on him. He's only had 10 points in his last 2 games, shooting a combined 6 for 27 those last 2 games. Phillips again. cleans up his own mess.
There's an activity of Cade Phillips. Checked in off the bench and made his impact immediate. A lot of the dirty work is done by him. He's answering the bell right now.
Shane Montgomery seeing his first action. To Blue Cane. Dakota LeFew was trying to hit a pocket pass to Asa Newell. It's a 1-point lead for the Georgia Bulldogs here in Knoxville. SEC men's basketball is presented by Pfizer, the official pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine awareness sponsor of the SEC. Food City Center here in Knoxville. 6th-ranked Tennessee taking on 23rd-ranked Georgia, and it's the Bulldogs with a 1-point lead. You know, Bulldogs are led by a fabulous freshman in Asa Newell. Leads them in scoring, rebounding. He's the SEC Freshman of the Week.
He's a dynamic player. At 6'11", he's a do-it-all forward. He has a soft touch from the outside, some finesse around the basket, and plays with a lot more intensity in his slender frame. Mixing up down low.
Well, the Volunteers, they've got the SEC leading scorer right now in Chaz Lanier, the North Florida transfer.
Well, he has the sweetest touch right now in the college game, shooting lights out from the outside. It's all set up with tremendous footwork as he can get to the spot, get his feet set, and he lets it go.
Lanier right now 0 for 4 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. Pressure by the Bulldogs. And a push. Looks like on Tyron Lawrence.
It's the defensive effort there by Georgia electing to get into some full court pressure.
They may have just turned him over.
Turned it over. Jemai Mashack made a slip there on the inline with a travel. Stepped on the baseline.
Mashack just committed that personal. His first. And then trying to inbound it to Justin Abson, who's just checked in for Georgia.
Keep an eye on the defensive end for both of these teams. You want to see two teams who are connected well when it comes to switching and communicating all action away from the basketball.
Godfrey, another little jump hook is good.
Move there by R.J. Godfrey. Had the size advantage over Mashack in the low post and took advantage of it.
Largest lead here for the Bulldogs is 3. It's Cade Phillips. Gainey, the triple. It's good. Jordan Gainey, he's the senior.
Sweet shot there by Jordan Gainey. Got the separation he needed with that V cut. All he needed was a peek, and he was able to knock it down.
Gainey's father, lead assistant. Good cut and lay-in by Blue Cane. Welcome home, Blue Cane.
And a pinpointed pass by Justin Abson. Blue Cane catching that ball, keeping it high, getting it onto the glass before the shot blocker was able to get there.
Jordan Gainey. To Lanier now. Five on the shot clock for the Vols. Gainey for 3. Too strong. Phillip, offensive board, and rocks the rim.
Wow. The activity of Cade Phillips once again on the offensive glass and doing the rest with the hammer.
Best offensive rebounder on Tennessee, working through a shoulder injury. We're all tied up here at 14, under 10 minutes. Going hard and strong is R.J. Godfrey.
Really good move by R.J. Godfrey. His leadership on the team is key, but when he can give you some offensive production, this is huge, particularly when he feels that he has a mismatch here in the low post.
That shot too strong by Gainey. Here's Lawrence. Is that a turnover? It is a turnover for Georgia.
50-50 balls that teams are fighting for, and here's another one from Cade Phillips. Recognizes that he's wide open, and he shows off that athleticism getting up top. R.J. Godfrey, strong body, gets the defender on his hip and gives him a ride.
Wholesale substitutions by both squads. Asa Newell is coming back in, so is Zakai Ziegler, along with Igor Milicic.
Strategy and details on the offensive end will be important for these teams.
Lanier, air ball. He still can't find it. And another turnover, the 7th by Georgia. And Coach White said if there's been one bugaboo, it is us turning the basketball over.
It is. And fortunately for Georgia, not too many of the live ball turnovers that lead to easy buckets for Tennessee on the other end. If they can get their defense set, they know that they can make it difficult for the balls.
Power sets the screen for Ziegler. Meshack. 5 on the shot clock again. Zakai with 3. Goes to the runner. Too strong.
A lot of contact there on that floater by Zakai Ziegler.
Blue Kane back the other way. His shot rejected.
You see the defensive prowess of Jahmai Meshack tracking that one down. Comes out of the picture, and there he is up top with the rejection. This is a game you're going to see some high-level defensive players. For Georgia, you have Silas Demery, who can do so many things. But for Tennessee, Jahmai Meshack, his ability to switch and guard multiple positions, as well as alongside the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, Zakai Ziegler.
Here's the spin by Godfrey, and he walked. Good defense by Felix Okpara.
Felix Okpara
stayed
holding
down.
his position, squared up to R.J. Godfrey. Good job keeping his verticality and the core strength he used to not be moved off his spot. Tremendous.
Here's Ziegler. Probing. Tried to dump it inside to Okpara, and there's a hold on Godfrey.
And a good duck in there by Felix Okpara. Not able to come up with the ball, but drawing that foul is going to be good for Tennessee as they can be physical in the paint. Here he is. He does an excellent job of sealing, getting a good duck in, forces R.J. Godfrey to hook him on the side. Baseline out of bounds opportunity for the Vols.
Skip pass. Ziegler. 3. Good.
Good recognition there by Tennessee, finding Ziegler wide open for the 3 ball.
See if Georgia can get a shot off here. They've turned it over 3 straight times now. Make it 4. Four straight turnovers by the Bulldogs, and it's the Vols up 1.
Well, Zakai Ziegler is able to get freed up with an open look, and when he's able to do that, it's cash money.
One-point lead for Tennessee over Georgia here in the first half. Hey, the newest bracketology is out with our Joe Lunardi, and take a look at here. He's got about 11 teams from the SEC right now in it. Auburn, Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, Kentucky, and A&M. Oh, that's not it. Take a look, Georgia. He's got them right now as a 7 seed. And speaking of the aforementioned Joe Lunardi, he joins us here. How you doing, Joe? So 11 squads when you talk about the SEC. When it's all said and done, how many do you think will get into this thing when you talk about March Madness compared to the record?
I think the SEC is going to break the record and end up with 12. The record for most bids from a league is 11 from the Big East in 2011. That was also a 16-team league, and it produced a national champion that year in UConn. You might remember a guy named Kemba Walker was pretty good.
Yes, he was.
And I'm seeing a depth in the SEC unlike any other league in my years, almost 30 now, of doing this. I mean, you saw the graphic. Georgia, the 9th team from the league into the field, still a 7th seed. And let me tell you, if they're the 9th best team in a league, that's a really good league.
What happens if they get a victory here tonight over Tennessee?
Well, that would be at least a seed line. Nothing carries weight with the committee and the metrics quite like big-time wins on the road.
I'll tell you, Georgia's off to a good start, but I'll tell you, this is also a team, not only Georgia making big wins, you talk about Ole Miss and what they've been able to do on the road with the big win at Alabama. Talk about what they're able to do as far as seeding is concerned.
Well, I think Chris Beard has really shown us, again, what a good coach he is. I think most of us thought that Ole Miss would be a tournament team, but to reach today a 5 seed, now, again, huge road win last night. We saw Missouri with a huge road win at Florida. And, of course, the combination of those teams losing, Alabama and Florida, elevated Tennessee back to the 1 line where they sit as the 4th overall team in our projected field and on our seed list, and that is going to last maybe another 26 minutes and 50 seconds, depending on how this game goes.
And you know, you hit it right on the head, because for 5 straight weeks, Tennessee was the #1 team in the country. You don't see them, when it's all said and done, you see them as a 1-2 seed by the time we get to March Madness?
I mean, look, here's what we know about the SEC. The average SEC team is going to play a dozen or more quad 1 games out of their 18 league games, about 15 on average. So you're going to take losses. It's just inconceivable that somebody, and I know Auburn's great, but they're not going 18-0 because 9 of those games are road games. And I think that could hurt some SEC teams seeding ultimately, but it will help in terms of selection, because when you get down to those bubble teams, guys, they're just going to have such power-packed resumes.
No one knows it better than our Joey Brackett, Joe Lenardi. And you make sure you check out his latest bracketology. Joe, appreciate you, man.
I just want to know if this first team to 50 or first team to 40.
It might be 40. 1-point lead here for Georgia.
I think Tennessee has more deflections than baskets, which is probably just the way Rick Barnes likes it.
You're right. Under 6 minutes until the half. That 3, no good by LeFew.
See, I try to show up at games, guys, with not a lot of offense so we can talk about other things.
Well, this is a game that definitely is lacking on the offense, but it's a defensive skill type of game.
Oh,
These
no
players
question.
can do an outstanding job of locking their man up individually and also helping. I would only think that would bode well for both of these teams when March comes around.
Well, Tennessee just collapses on the ball so quickly. And the guys out there, they look like they're playing with 3 and 4 arms.
Okpara snags that board.
And then when you get every rebound, you don't give up second chance buckets. Makes it pretty hard to score. Now, Tennessee has more weapons than Georgia. Georgia probably has the best weapon in Newell. And Lanier doesn't have it, at least not yet tonight.
Not tonight. And as you mentioned, Asa Newell, that's a fabulous freshman, his ability. I don't anticipate him being on campus too much longer in Athens, but his impact has been at a high level for the Bulldogs, and a big reason why you have him picked so high in your bracketology.
I mean, this was a borderline bubble team. At the beginning of the year, they were picked 12th in the preseason poll in the league out of 16. So, you know, they're overachieving, and back-to-back wins over Kentucky and Oklahoma. Whoa!
Oh, how about That rejection by Felix Akpara. Wow.
That never happens to me.
I thought you could get up like that.
Still 0 for 7 from the field is Chaz Lanier, the SEC leading scorer. We're into 5 minutes until the half.
Lanier is obviously a really good outside shooter. As a leading scorer, you got to be able to utilize your shot fake and draw a foul to get to the free throw line. Good shooters and scorers know how to do that so they can figure out their rhythm throughout the course of the game.
Well, we talked about how the past 2 teams that he's faced, they have really held him in check. In fact, the last 2 games, Lanier coming into this one 6 of 27 from the field.
Well, it's been a struggle for him, and you know, mainly because he is a player who relies more so on his outside shooting. He has the physicality and the ability to take it to the rim. He has to utilize those skills to try to soften up the defense and then go back to his outside shot.
1.4 on the shot clock. Got to get it up. Surreal. That shot no good. Akpara with the rebound.
Now, you were an offensive star, Richard.
Well, listen, you got to
figure out that Richard and I combined for 1,200 points in college. He had all of them.
Here's Caney. He'll kick it back out. Ziegler, 5 on the shot clock. Milicic drives, fades. Shot's no good.
Has there been a basket since I've been sitting here?
I don't think so.
I think one.
Timory turns the corner. And we'll pull it back out.
Time flies when you're playing defense, fellas.
These 2 teams are really an outstanding job.
Timory with the left hand, no. Newell, the offensive board. He goes back up and a foul.
The activity is a good thing right there for Georgia as Asa Newell is able to get onto the boards and able to get a chance to go to the free throw line. Points are hard to come by in this one. A defensive struggle here on Rocky Top. Well, Pat, you're definitely right. He is spectacular. But Chaz Lanier is going to have to try to use the dribble to get to the line. Obviously, he has a phenomenal shot from the outside. Utilize that pump fake to get the defense in the air, and then your driving ability to get to the cup. Drive with some physicality. You might be able to finish at the cup with a layup. If not, you'll get fouled and go to the free throw line. A high-level shooter of Lanier's caliber sees a couple of them go through the rim from the free throw line, then it's just a matter of time that he can catch fire from the field.
0 of 7 so far from the field. Tennessee has only made 1 of the last 10 shots. There's been a lot of bricks here on Rocky Top. Right now, Tennessee shooting just 24% from the field. Georgia, 38%.
Well, it's all because of the defensive ability of both of these teams. I mean, these are teams that can score the basketball, but you're playing against 2 teams, against another team that has the ability to shut you down. It all starts with the individual ability of each person on the roster to guard their own man off of dribble penetration. Then they play an outstanding job being connected off ball, communicating from screens away from each other, and they finish possessions with rebounds.
First free throw of the game for either team, and it's the freshman Asa Newell. He knocks it down. Newell 70% on the season. Knocks them both down.
Georgia's with a little bit of extended pressure. So fouls called on Silas Timory. Almost 90 feet away from the basket.
Those are the ones you don't want.
Silas Timory Jr. draws the foul. His first, team 7.
That's the That's 17 fouls. That means Ziegler will go to the line.
Tennessee now being in the bonus will change the tone of this game. Now it would allow them to be a little bit more aggressive.
With the balls, that's the guy you want on the line, too. Ziegler now 89% free throw shooter on the season.
What I would like to see from Tennessee in the next couple of sets down, you obviously have Chaz Lanier and his ability to score, but I want to see some designed action drawn up to get him freed up, particularly maybe a backdoor cut, something with a back screen to get him an easy one. He's your leading scorer. You're going to need his point production, but it's not only about the point production in this game. It's about continuing to get him in rhythm so he can play at his best in the rest of SEC play.
Tyrin Lawrence. And another call. This one will be on the Vols.
Georgia is a team that's very good at drawing fouls. The intensity in which they cut away from the ball, it forces defenses to have to hold and grab and do such things. They're able to draw fouls at a high clip, which allows them to get to the free throw line, and that's where they have their advantage against their opponents so far this season.
That one's on Jordan Gainey. Here's Newell. They work it around the perimeter to the high post. Godfrey cutting his cane. Spins. Shot is no good. Newell hits the ground, and it's like we're going to have another foul on Tennessee.
Good ball movement by Georgia, getting Blue Cane freed up there for the shot. The movement that Georgia had on that offensive set is what created Newell to fight for the offensive rebound opportunity leading to the foul.
Chaz Lanier called for the personal. R.J. Godfrey. Spinning. Turn. Shot no good. As Chaz Lanier comes away with the board. Under 3 minutes until the half. Being hounded by Demery. Now they'll reset. Gainey, horn set, jumper, no good. Skying and going to get it is Tyrin Lawrence.
Quality look right there for Gainey on the last three-point possession, not able to knock it down.
Godfrey.
Great defense right there by Tennessee, negotiating that screen.
Godfrey has set the screen here for Lawrence. Drive, hangs off the glass and kisses it home.
That's just a big-time individual play right there by Tyrin Lawrence. Defense hanging all off from him, gets a little bit of separation and the kiss off the glass.
Matches the largest lead Georgia's had here, 3 under 2 minutes until the half now. Gainey off the screen, attacks the basket, and he'll go to the line.
Offense is hard to come by, but when you make some strong individual moves like this one right here by Tyrin Lawrence, gets that little bit of bump right there to get the separation he needs, the soft touch, kissing it off the backboard.
Jordan Gainey, shoot 2.
Here's Jordan Gainey. Knocks down that first free throw. Shooting 78% on the season. Of course, his father, there's Dad, lead assistant here for Coach Barnes.
Justin Gainey is associate head coach of the team, was very vocal in this morning shoot around, giving a lot of instruction about what this team needs to do defensively to be able to handle Georgia. But it's the offensive end that Tennessee is going to have to figure out a way to manufacture some points.
Lead is 1 for the Dogs. Newell spins. Did he travel, or are they going to call a personal? They're going to call the personal.
They called Zakai Ziegler as he was reaching in. A great idea of the Current Defensive Player of the Year. Here he is. He tries to V back on that spin and get a bead on it. Not able to get the ball. Got the wrist of Asa Newell. It's a really heady play by the veteran guard. But when you're playing, obviously, against a skilled and talented young player like Newell, he did a really good job of protecting the basketball on the spin.
Free throw is good. Lead is 2.
You know, this is a game that has a slow pace, and this is the type of pace that both of these teams can play well in. But the pace benefits Georgia, and the main reason is because it keeps the crowd out of the game. I mean, you have a packed arena in here, but without the point production and getting up and down, the crowd is not able to be a factor, and Georgia is able to pinpoint offensive plays like that.
As Newell gets the roll. Meanwhile, Lanier came off that pin down, and he is still 0 for 8 from the field. Is Chaz Lanier, conference leading scorer.
Well, there's shots that he's able to hit, but that's when at some point you got to put your head down and try to see if you can get all the way to the basket.
Let's see what Chaz Lanier is doing on the season. Another shot. Finally.
There he is, the sweet stroke, and the crowd starting to get into it. I guess he did get a peek of the graphic of him not being able to knock down shots.
Here's
he's
Luke
back on the
Kane.
board.
.30 seconds now till the half. 10-second differential between the shot clock, game clock. Here's Ziegler with 5. Throws it up. Phillips lays it in.
The two-man games of Kai Ziegler and Phillips. Multiple times on the same page. Cade Phillips with the soft hands on the alley-oop. Tennessee having to get the offensive going. And here's your leading scorer, Chaz Lanier, with the one bounce pull-up at the elbow. And Cade Phillips has been doing work all night long with his activity once again around the rim making plays.
12 seconds until the half. Georgia looking to take the final shot. Georgia comes into this game winners of 9 of their last 10. Finally cracking the top 25. In fact, this is the first time in 22 years Georgia ranked not only in the AP poll, but the coaches poll as well.
But for good reason. I mean, obviously, you would definitely have to see that this is a team to be reckoned with. History is not something that people need to take into consideration when they talk about this particular Georgia team. And it started with last year's team with that run to the NIT semifinal. Mike White has really gotten things going in Athens. They have bought into his culture and the winning philosophy. And it's not only about the way they win, there's a confidence about the way that they play, that they come in places and they expect to compete and come up with wins.
Final 5 seconds until the half. Demery, hounded by Ziegler, gets the steal. No, throws it up, hits the front of the rim. So we have played 20 minutes here in Knoxville, and it's Georgia with a 1-point lead over Tennessee. We'll head to the studio. You're watching SEC Network Basketball. It is presented by Pfizer as we begin the second half, and it's the Georgia Bulldogs with a 1-point lead over the Tennessee Volunteers. Brian Custer alongside Richard Hendricks. You know, Rich, you look at this first half, you got one team shooting 38%, The other team shooting 27%, and that team, Tennessee, has got the SEC's leading scorer. 1 for 9 from the field. Chaz Lanier, just 2 points.
Well, if you like defense, this is the game for you because both of these teams are locking down. And I tell you, Georgia's playing a really good game right now. You're playing against a tough Tennessee team that can do so much. And offensively, Chaz Lanier is going to have to be the player for the Volunteers to take his game to another level. He struggled to knock it down from the outside. They've been physical with him, chasing him off from screens. And when he's lived on the outside shot, he's not been able to knock it down. I'd like to see him utilize a little bit more his ability to get to the cup. He shoots from the outside at 81% of his shots, but he's going to need to do more at the cup.
What can you say about Georgia, especially defensively, and what they've done?
Well, they've done a really good job of communicating and switching. They do an outstanding job of contesting and being physical every single time Tennessee touches the basketball. This is the tone that they have to play with, and more than anything, this style of play has kept the crowd out of the game. That's why the advantage in the first half is going to the Bulldogs.
Well, you want to talk about a rock fight. That is exactly what we got here on Rocky Top. And it is a 1-point lead for the Dogs. Again, 38% is what Georgia's shooting from the field. Tennessee, 27%. Chaz Lanier averages 19 a game. He's got just 2. His last 2 games, the opponents have held him to just 10 points. So, again, that's another tough shooting night for the conference's leading scorer.
Tennessee is a team that is going to have to get the point production by way of committee. You can't always rely on one player to give you all of the production. You have to do a better job with the details, setting solid screens, V-cutting and getting space, and then when they get a clean look, they got to stick it.
Just the 3rd time Tennessee has led or trailed at the half. They won at Illinois. They lost at Florida. Here's R.J. Godfrey. He loves that little jump hook. Misses it this time. Here comes Chaz Lanier.
Good defense there by Felix Akpara in the low post.
Over 19,000 here at the Food City Center.
The tone of this game, you wouldn't think it's 19,000 in the building. Tennessee's going to have to pick up the pace to try to get the crowd on their side.
Milicic, backdoor cut, and behind the back pass by Milicic, Mashack lays it in.
Igor Milicic getting saucy in the low post with the behind the back dime.
Newell drops Mashack. Sets the screen for Dimry. And they're going to call that one on Jahmai Mashack.
This ability here by Igor Milicic taking his time with the beautiful dime behind the back. Jahmai Mashack with the cut. And that's an area that Jahmai Mashack is really going to have to start to utilize. He's a player who's limited on the offensive end, and his defenses do not guard him closely. He has to be a better off-ball cutter, has to be a better off-ball screener, and when he does that, he'll free up opportunities for himself and others.
Well, that's what he does best, steals. 6 in the SEC when it comes to steals, and he's just got one there. 10th turnover by the Bulldogs. Lanier still can't find the range from deep. Lawrence, skip pass. Dimry. Newell hands it off to Lawrence, turns the corner. Runner, no good. Rebound Milicic. And here comes Zakai Ziegler.
Well, that was an opportunity for Tennessee to take advantage of the numbers that they had in transition. The pace of the game is played in the half court, and Zakai Ziegler does an outstanding job of running it as a foul's called there on Georgia.
That's going to be the 3rd on Tyron Lawrence, too.
But when you get opportunities to try to get numbers in transition, in a game of this pace, you want to take advantage of those.
Dakota LeFew will come in, and Lawrence obviously will have the seat with those 3 personals. Off the pin down, Lanier. No good. Be the second on Godfrey.
Got him on the face box out. Too physical on that. Got to use better technique and end the possessions with a sound rebound.
Mashack for three.
That's huge, Jahmai Mashack. He started off the game with a beautiful jump hook, and you can see the energy and enthusiasm he has after knocking down that three-point shot.
Only shoots 28% on the season.
Well, he was out here early in shoot-around getting up shots, and that's what happens when you get the work in and you get the reps in. Jahmai Mashack ready in the corner to knock it down, and he makes it count.
Largest lead for the Vols tonight, 4. We played 3:30 here in the second half. Now all of a sudden it's 19,000 getting into it. Godfrey. Shot deflected, stolen from Newell. Lanier, 1 for 11, make it 1 for 12, but there's the follow by Akpara.
The energy is in the building now as Tennessee is starting to make a surge here in the second half.
The Dogs are going to call a timeout. It's the Vols up 6. .7-0 run to start the second half, in Tennessee now with a 6-point lead, and Zakai Zeigler, well, he's tied a school record for steals. He's tied for the top, 212 of them with Santiago Vescovi. One more, he owns the school record for the senior out of Long Island, New York.
His ability to understand where the ball is at all times, particularly when he's away from it, is elite. He was able to come up with a couple of steals there starting the second half, which was able to get the juice going for Tennessee in transition. The teammates are feeding off that. Big reason why the Vols are on a 7-0 run.
There's Zeigler. You can look at what this kid has done here, and you want to talk about the 4 years that he's been here. The numbers just go up, whether it's points or assists.
And that's what you want to see from a high-quality player. Every single year, there's an improvement in your development. There's an increase in your statistical production, and obviously, it's been able to result in wins here for Tennessee.
Leads the SEC in assists. He's 5th in the country when it comes to sharing the sugar. LeFew gets the screen, drives, shot no good, but foul.
It's good action right there by Georgia coming out of the break. Get into their screen roll action with Santos Surreal checking in. Dakota LeFew able to get a little bit of a crease there, get all the way to the cup.
Second on Lanier. LeFew misses the first. He's the graduate transfer out of Mount St. Mary's. Best three-point shooter as well. 1 of 2.
Made free throw allowed Georgia to put a little bit of full court pressure on.
Now they'll back out. Akpara setting the high screen. And they pick the pocket.
That's Silas Demery once again. And this guy's stealthy on the defensive end. He's guarding Jahmai Mashack and not respecting him in the corner. The back turns, and there he is, picking the pocket of Zakai Ziegler. And that's a strategical thing. One of the best defenders of Georgia. You put him on Mashack, who's limited offensively, which gives him the ability to play rover and roam around like a free safety. And that's something that Mike White has dialed up right there that resulted in a turnover.
And 5-second call. So the Bulldogs turn it right back over. It's the 12th turnover for Georgia.
Georgia does do a better job of not taking the pressure situations on the inbound for granted. You're going to have to beat the pressure of this defensive team of Tennessee as a unit. You can't rely on one guy to inbound the ball and bring it up against the press. You got to beat it as a team.
Ziegler, runner. No good, got his own board though. Ziegler again, throws it up. And Santos Surreal with the collision with Milicic. That'll be the second on Surreal.
Physical on the alley-oop attempt. The anticipation there by Surreal, a little too much body. Milicic going to the line.
Do here tonight, coming into Rocky Top and trying to get them an upset over 6th-ranked Tennessee. And for the Bulldogs, again, this is the 4th straight ranked squad that the Bulldogs are facing. After this, it only gets tougher because they get the #1 team in the country, Auburn, next.
Yeah, that's life in the SEC. But I'll tell you one thing. This Georgia team is good. It's not a situation where they're taking on tough opponents. They are one of the tough opponents, and they're showing the rest of the league this is not a Bulldog team that you should take lightly.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tennessee has certainly loved playing them. They are 99-62 against Georgia. That is the second most wins over any school for Tennessee, trailing only the 131 wins they've got over Vanderbilt, who Tennessee will face next on Saturday.
And Vanderbilt playing really good basketball at 2-2 now in the league. Head coach Mark Byington doing an outstanding job coming up with a win today in SEC play over South Carolina. It doesn't get any easier in this league. Every single team is playing phenomenal basketball, and as you can see now, you can't take the home court for granted as easy wins in the SEC.
We had our Joe Lunardi on in the first half. He says as of right now in his Lewis, there's another steal. Streaking down is Jordan Gainey, who lays it in. And all of a sudden the Volunteers up 9. And an 11-1 run, Rich.
And it's the full court press that they've jumped into that's got a little bit of energy into these players and also into the building. You got to change up the tempo in games of this magnitude.
Blue Kane, that's air ball. How about that hustle there by Surreal?
That's really good hustle there by Georgia. Tennessee getting active, pressuring the ball. Zakai Ziegler, active hands, comes up with the steal on ball, drops it off to Jordan Gainey, and they're back in the press.
Congratulations to Zakai Ziegler. He is now the all-time steals leader in the history of Tennessee basketball. 213 career steals.
And so impressive, him getting it done, a true senior in 4 years. And he gets it done in so many ways. As you saw the example of the last steal that he had on the inbound, that was a man-to-man situation where his active hands were just able to steal the entry pass. He can also steal it off ball and shoot the gap with passing lanes. Phenomenal player.
Yeah, Santiago Vescovi held the previous record at 212. He played 5 minutes, about 5 minutes here in this second half. Mashack lays it in.
And that's a strong cut there by Jahmai Mashack. It's what I'm talking about, his ability. he might not have the skills to score with the technique, but understanding how to cut with purpose, he can be impactful offensively as this team grows in the season.
13-1 run by the Vols. And that defense is tightening. They are all over Georgia. Kane fades in and out. Rebound. Gainey. Ziegler turns, drops a dime to Phillips.
The Ziegler-Phillips connection has been on. Beautiful play there, coming off of the 2 drag screens. Confused Georgia, and Cade Phillips was able to get freed up for the beautiful dish.
15-1 run now by the Vols. Newell, the triple, got it.
And that's
And
what
they needed that.
you see the talent of the freshman. It's a lot of poise and maturity to knock down that shot. He saw that his team needed a bucket, and you got to go to your most talented guy, Asa Newell, able to deliver.
Ziegler, the triple, yes!
That's the big man. You know, Ziegler has created a few buckets for Phillips, and Phillips say, I got you right back. Ziegler knocks down the tray ball.
13-point lead. And he's all up in his pocket. Another steal. Gainey. And he'll go to the line.
It's just tremendous activity there. Zakai Ziegler once again. His activity on the defensive end leading the offense. Asa Newell lining one up from the outside, getting Georgia a little bit of life, but back at you, Zakai Ziegler, the beautiful tray.
And then Jordan Gainey will go back to the line. He's got 2 shots. Darlington Dubar. Let's check back in for Tennessee.
I love the decision that Tennessee has made to jump into the pressure defense. This was a game that was not going into their way, and they've been able to get the speed of the game going and the crowd back into the game by applying some full court pressure, turning over Georgia and getting some easy shots.
5 steals in this game for Ziegler, too, which ties his career high for a game. First time, though, he's done it this year. He's getting the crowd pumped up.
Once again, it's that off-ball action. Good things happen when you play with toughness and physicality. Meshack running through those screens and gets a call to go his way.
Ziegler, got it. He's hot.
Let it fly, Zakai.
He is all of a sudden taking over this game. Demery shot no good. Ziegler. Oh, he's red hot. Wow. It's a timeout. Zakai letting it fly here on Rocky Top. And they are rolling up 21 now on the Dogs.
Zakai Ziegler filling it from outside with the sweet touch. There he is, lining one up and pulling up in transition for the heat check. Rolling on Rocky Top.
Ziegler done offensively and defensively here for Tennessee tonight. He's got 5 steals. That ties a career high. He's the all-time steals leader now in Tennessee history. In fact, the Vols have gone on this 19-3 run over the last 330. Ziegler, 3 of 3 from distance over that time.
Well, this is leadership because Zakai Ziegler has taken over the game. It started with his defensive intensity, getting some steals and getting the team going. The offensive output has not been there for Tennessee, but he's taken on the scoring load, feeling the rhythm of the game, pulling up from deep, and as he had it going with the heat check in transition, putting this game potentially out of reach.
In fact, Tennessee been perfect over that last 330. 6 of 6 from the field are the Volunteers, and they busted this one wide open. Here's Silas Demery.
This will be an interesting test for Georgia because Georgia's been a team that's been able to play from in front. They find themselves down. When they have the ability to play from in front, the pace allows them to set the tone. They'll have to pick it up. Here's
Justin Abson, who just checked in. And let me tell you something. This is a guy that Coach White has just loved. He said every time he comes in, he answers the bell.
Well, this was a quality find out of the transfer portal coming in from App State. Justin Abson was one of the leading shot blockers in the country. And to have him as your reserve big is very big for Georgia. He comes in and makes a difference.
Kane. There's a block. And they're going to call that on Cade Phillips. He can't believe it.
Yeah, and I think it was a lot of ball on this one as Cade Phillips timed this one right. We'll take another look at it as R.J. Godfrey. Ooh, I don't know about that one. The verticality was there, straight up, takes the hit, and all ball. Tough break there for Cade Phillips, who's been having a phenomenal game coming in off the bench.
Godfrey comes from another athletic family. Father played football at Georgia, played a number of years in the NFL, linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, Randall Godfrey.
2 players in the last confrontation there with football backgrounds from the previous generation. It's Phillips' father, John David, a quarterback at the University of Alabama.
Dubar misses that 3. You know, Tennessee shot just 27% in that first half. So far in the second half, 64% as Demery tickles the twine.
Pump fake by Silas Demery to create some space and to knock down that shot. It's going to have to be a little bit more aggressive to try to get Georgia back in it. But they've had a 7-0 run with under the last minute.
Yeah, Coach Barnes is going to call a timeout. He said, I want to snuff this real quick. $11 minutes left here in this one.
And a lot of time left in this one. As you said, this is a good timeout for Tennessee to try to make some adjustments. The pace has picked up a little bit for Georgia. They've tried to get to the basket. You draw a foul because you're aggressive. You get a chance to go to the free throw line. You get a clean look from the outside. You're able to knock it down. I'm looking to see the counter adjustment and the anticipation from Georgia of what Tennessee is about to do coming out of this break. You have to know it's a game of runs. Expect Tennessee to make the adjustment, but what can Georgia do to sustain the run they have going?
Tennessee basketball. Jamon Mashack will inbound.
Silas Demery seems to be matched up with Zakai Ziegler. It's a matchup you want to keep your eye on as Ziegler's been able to run the show. 2 defensive players might be able to cause some confusion.
Oh, steal. Lawrence. And he's going to draw the foul on Gainey.
Jordan Gainey seems to disagree, but a heady play by Tyron Lawrence, the veteran in the SEC. He steals the ball, get out in the passing lanes, but see, he cuts right in front of Gainey to try to close the space. It's a little bit of contact after the miss and going to the free throw line.
Second on Gainey.
Tyron Lawrence.
Igor Milicic, Chaz Lanier will check back in.
Something a
For
little
the
bit of
Vols.
a little bit of defense to offense. This is an important free throw here for Georgia. I'd anticipate if they're able to get it, they might want to jump into some full-court pressure to try to continue to put the press on Tennessee.
Remember that lead was 21. It's just 11 now. Good denial.
It's a good point guard matchup right here. A really strong defender with Demery. His length can be disruptive on Ziegler.
Gainey turns the corner. Rolls off. Absent the board. Here's Blue Kane. Lost it. Godfrey, he traveled.
That play was a phenomenal play set up by Zakai Ziegler. As Blue Kane had a line to the layup, Ziegler turned on the Jets and jumped in front of him, forcing Blue to be able to lose control. Those are the type of impactful plays that you see that don't get on the stat sheet.
17 turnovers for Georgia. Milicic has it stripped, and it will go to Georgia. Felix Akpara will come back into the game. Tennessee has scored 17 points off those 17 turnovers by the Bulldogs.
Georgia has their press breaker lined up.
Lawrence trying to get it to either single digits. Demery from the corner, open, missed it. And I think they're going to call a push there on Godfrey.
And that's one, if you are Silas Demery, you want back. Beautiful execution by Georgia and great recognition by Godfrey to find Demery wide open in the corner when an opportunity to get this one under 10 results in a foul. And Tennessee going to the line.
Yeah, it's the 7th now on Georgia, so that'll put the Vols in the bonus. We're under 10 to play.
Jordan Gainey is shooting 1-1.
Jordan Gainey trying to get a little tap after the free throw as he reaches in with his teammates. But Gainey has been a player who's made a difference in this game. He hasn't necessarily been as efficient from the field, but he's done a really good job of getting clean looks. And when he gets freed up, he's been able to draw fouls, get to the free throw line. He's been consistent in this game when the scoring wasn't there.
That increases the lead to 14 with those made free throws. Here's Newell, working on Milicic. Kane from deep. Misses. Lanier will pull up. The foul is good by Milicic.
Recognition, Igor Milicic not boxed out, comes in with a line from the corner, able to get the tip back dunk.
9 minutes now left in this one. Oh, good cut. And lays it up and in is Dakota LeFew.
Dakota LeFew has done it a couple of times tonight. He set that baseline cut up by selling it that he was reading high for the three-pointer. Put his foot in the ground, comes on the flex cut, and gets freed up for the easy layup.
Ziegler. The left hand lays it in.
That's a high-level move. He comes off that screen roll action, and the hesitation dribble throws the defense, and then switching it over to the left for the finish. Phenomenal.
Zakai with 16 came from the corner. That's no good. There's Newell. And he cleans it up with the follow-up.
Very mature possession right there for Asa Newell. Had an easy shot on the first look, but made the open look over to Blue Kane in the corner, then hustling on the offensive rebound with the putback.
Newell in double figures with 13. Here's Akpara. Another dish, an assist by Ziegler.
Ziegler is controlling this game. He's doing an outstanding job of controlling the pace, setting his teammates up. He's making it look easy.
Lawrence Haynes scores. Back and forth we go. Here's Ziegler. Too strong. Oh, another steal. Gady.
Phenomenal work. Ziegler with the pick. Gainey, the recipient in the throwdown.
Newell, triple, short. There's Abson getting on the floor, but it's the Vols who come up with it. Milicic, and he carried it.
Wonderful carry.
Here's the steal.
Defense, the offense. Jordan Gainey is able to get off to the races, finishing above the rim.
To have. Look at what we've done here in the second half. All of a sudden, Tennessee, 36 points, 59% from the field. Georgia scored 19 points, shooting 35%.
The Vols have been able to flip the script in the second half. They've got the pace picked up. They picked up the defensive intensity with some full court pressure, and Zakai Ziegler has taken over the game. He's running the show, setting up his teammates, and when he gets an opportunity to shoot from the outside, he's making it count.
Yeah, Ziegler now with 600 assists in his career. Just the second SEC player to have 1,000 points, 600 assists, 200 steals. Alex Caruso has done it as well as Georgia gets themselves another bucket.
Still a lot of time in this game, and Georgia's going to have to see if they can string together some stops to get back in it.
As we hit the 6-minute mark. Gainey.
Beautiful finish there by Jordan Gainey. Floater over the top.
That three is good by Demery.
Demery is such a strong-bodied guard. I mean, just that little shoulder bump, it can send you flying, and that's all he needs to get the separation to get his shot off.
Lanier finally gets a three to drop first of the night. He was 1 for 13 before that shot.
He was able to get his feet set and lined up, and nice rhythm on that one. Stayed in his shot until he made it.
Newell driving, rejected by Akpara. Under 5 to play. Gainey. Oh man, how about Jordan Gainey?
Impressive. He took his time that entire possession, realized the situation after that beautiful block by Felix Akpara, and had one-on-one, snaked the pick and roll and knocked it down.
Jordan Gainey now with 17 points off the bench. There's an air ball. Gainey, he's got the hot hand.
That's a rhythm shot right there. It's almost like a workout drill. It's coming downhill, changes pace, gets to his sweet spot on the court, and knocks down the mid-range J.
You were talking about point guard play, why it's going to be so pivotal in this game, and it's been the key. Because Zakai Zeigler has gotten it done, and then his backup, Jordan Gainey's come in and done it as well.
And it's the calming presence that they both had. They run the show, and they read the situation.
Igor Milicic. And he talks to Santos Surreal, and they're going to call a technical on Milicic.
Milicic might feel as if he earned that technical because the big man gets out on transition, takes off the wrong foot, but flushes it home over the top and lets you know about it.
Presented by Pfizer, the official pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine awareness sponsor of the SEC. "21-point lead for the Tennessee Volunteers, who started the first half shooting just 27%, but they are shooting 67% from the field here in the second half. They've also scored 42 points, only scored 25 in the first half.
They turned it up a notch. They've got high percentage shots going downhill in transition. They're also taking the mid-range shots that are available within the defense of Georgia, and they're knocking it down. Jordan Gainey's gotten hot in the second half, and they've been able to ride the guard play of Zeigler and Gainey.
Gainey has come off the bench, 6 of 11 from the field, at 19 points. Blue Cane will go to the line and shoot the free throw. They call it a technical. Well, Igor Milicic for that dunk, because he certainly let Santos Surreal know about it and talk to him afterwards. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he did. It's a beautiful play, but negates it a little bit with some trash talk right in the face of Santos Surreal. And I'll tell you, of all the people in the league you want to talk trash to, I don't know if it's Santos Surreal, but a phenomenal play by Igor Milicic. Really good basketball player, comes from a basketball family. Father, a head coach, coached in Poland, the team I actually played against in Anvil, Vlad. So he knows how to play the game. Comes from a basketball background.
His ball's up 20. Lawrence, step back. Nope.
Tough shot for Tyron Lawrence. For Georgia coming out in the break, you want to get something a little bit more efficient. Work the ball around. This is a team that moves the ball well. Even though it's a little over 3 minutes to go, continue to work your offense and grow your team chemistry for the rest of SEC play.
Lanier, that jumper no good. Under 3 minutes to go. Tennessee looking for their 16th victory on the season. Gainey has it blocked by Dimery. Oh, and knocks down the three.
Just when you thought it was over, Jordan Gainey lets you know, hold on, let's take a peek at this. It's a close one as he stayed with it after the block shot by
Call on the court is a good three-point basket. We'll check the shot clock.
Oh, that is close.
That's very close. But look at that shot. I mean, from near half court, looks at the goal and cash money.
Yeah.
Still,
might be a little late.
Still in his hand.
Still in his hand.
But still a tremendous display of strength and ability and touch to shoot from that far out. As they review this is a good opportunity for both of these teams. You know, you got two well-coached teams that are playing good basketball, and the game seems to be out of reach. But it's a moment to teach with a lot of things about building your team moving forward. Georgia has gotten a little bit out of sorts in the last few minutes, and they have to run their offense.
We have a shot clock violation. By rule, we put 2:43 back on the game clock.
So didn't get it off in time. You know, here's the thing about Tennessee. Spent 5 straight weeks at number 1. Obviously took that loss, was a 30-point loss to Florida early last week. And the one thing that Coach Rich Barnes told us about, he said, you know, look, we still have a lot of room to improve and get better. And he says that's the one thing that I am really high on, especially when it comes to this team, is that we can be a lot better. You're thinking to yourself, a lot better. This team's only got 1 loss. They've spent 5 weeks at number 1.
And it's in all areas, but the main way that I think that they've found some growth today is to see that they can beat a high-quality team without the point production of Chaz Lanier, your leading scorer, averaging 19 points a game, but only has 5, struggling from shooting. You have more players who are able to be impactful in the game from an offensive production standpoint. Jordan Gainey stepped in and contributed. Jahmai Mashack being more aggressive on the offensive end in the openings of the first and the second half was pivotal in Tennessee getting this one done. And obviously, Zakai Ziegler, what he can do creating for others, but when he creates for himself, this gives this team another area in which they can be even more dangerous.
Jordan Gainey, well-deserved rest for the night with 19 points off the bench. Bishop Boswell has checked in for Tennessee. Mashack turns the corner. Gotta get a shot up. Akbar does. Milicic, offensive glass.
Hustle there by Tennessee. Stand with him.
Mashack will pull it, knocks it down.
Mashack has made the most of his shots tonight. Perfect from the field.
12 points from Mashack. You pointed out, just perfect.
He's done a good job of being smart about his shot selection.
He really started it early for them.
And I do think he's turned down a few shots that if he drives in the paint with purpose, he'll be able to make those as he's a little bit more assertive.
Talk to me about Georgia.
Well, Georgia's done some good things, but this is a tough opponent here on the road. The first half was exactly how Georgia wanted to play this game. They took the crowd out of it. They controlled the tempo and the pace. But as Tennessee sped them up, they had a hard time of finding their offense in the second half. They'll have to continue to work on that and have a little bit more synergy when the pressure defense is put on them, just as they put on others.
Both of these teams will start clearing out the bench. Of course, Georgia will take on number 1 Auburn on Saturday. Meanwhile, Tennessee will take on Vanderbilt.
There's a challenge that Georgia can take away from this game. Asa Newell was still very efficient in this game. He has a lot of talent, and as he grows as a young player into star power, he has to learn how to take over games and start to impose his will to put his team on his back.
Only a freshman. So Tennessee gets the 18-point victory. They knock off Georgia 74-56.
Impressive.
And Zakai Ziegler, boy, what he did. 16 points, had a career high in steals with 6 of those. He is our good hands play, brought to you by Allstate.
He got it going, particularly in the second half. so many skills that got the team easy buckets, but his outside shooting was key to get the crowd into the game. He took his game to another level, and he was able to lead the Vols to a victory against a very good Georgia team.
4 of 8 from distance, 7 assists as well on the night. And Tennessee gets that victory. Now 16-1, 3-1 in the conference. Victory for Tennessee. Richard Hendricks, Brian Custer. Thanks for watching. Good night from Rocky Top.